Welcome to this explainer. Look, if you're a professional, a business owner, or honestly just a diligent taxpayer in India right now, you know the ground beneath our feet is completely shifting. We are right in the middle of a massive, historic transformation in direct taxation. So today, we're unpacking the major updates just rolled out on the official Income Tax Department portal, giving you exactly what you need to navigate this new digital infrastructure safely and efficiently.
Here's how we're breaking it down today. First, we'll look at the overarching Income Tax Act 2025. Then, we'll navigate the digital portal itself, followed by a deep dive into the incredibly useful IT bill comparison tool. After that, we'll cover some recent updates and news. And finally, we'll wrap up with those absolutely crucial July 2026 deadlines you cannot afford to miss.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the Income Tax Act 2025, the new era of direct taxation.
So the portal isn't just getting a fresh coat of paint and some updated forms. It's actually the command center for a monumental transition. We are officially moving away from the decades-old legacy framework, the 1961 Act we're all so used to, and moving into the newly enforced Income Tax Act 2025, which officially kicked in on April 1, 2026. This is a complete top-to-bottom overhaul of the rulebook, and the government's portal, well, it's acting as the main bridge between these two massive pieces of legislation.
Moving on to Section 2, navigating the digital portal and your key resources.
The updated portal categorizes its vast wealth of information surprisingly well. You've got everything right at your fingertips, from the core taxpayer's charter, which lays out your rights and responsibilities, to a constantly updated database of circulars and notifications. But honestly, the real lifesaver right now are the extensive FAQs. They've specifically added clarificatory FAQs about the transition provisions under Section 536 of the new 2025 Act. This is huge because it helps you figure out exactly how your past tax liabilities carry over into the new regime, without the nightmare of double taxation. Plus, they've bundled in all the specific 2026 forms and a genuinely handy integrated tax calendar to keep us all on track.
Now, a quick pause here because digital safety is just as absolutely crucial as compliance right now. Look, during massive transitions like this, confusion is naturally high, and unfortunately that means phishing attempts spread like wildfire. The portal makes it crystal clear. The department will never ever ask for your PINs, your passwords, or your bank access info via email. No exceptions. It's just a vital reminder to always use the official portal for your interactions and verifications. Keep your financial identity locked down.
That brings us to Section 3, the IT bill comparison tool, bridging the regimes.
Okay, I have to say, this specific tool is a total game changer for anyone trying to figure out exactly what changed between the old laws and the new ones. It empowers you to literally pluck sections directly from the 1961 Act and the new 2025 Act right out of their catalog. You just hit compare and boom, it generates a clean side-by-side analysis of the exact differences. And the best part? You can export the whole thing to HTML, PDF, or view it in a seamlessly merged layout. For tax pros, accountants, or really any business trying to update their compliance strategy, this tool is literally going to save you hours of grueling manual cross-referencing.
Let's look at Section 4, recent updates and news, and what the CBDT is doing right now.
Aside from the tools, the portal serves as a live feed for the Central Board of Direct Taxes, or CBDT. For instance, it highlights the immense scale of international tax resolution going on behind the scenes. They noted that the CBDT signed a massive 219 advanced pricing agreements in the last financial year alone. To put that into perspective, these agreements basically lock in tax rules for multinational businesses ahead of time. It prevents costly disputes down the line and fosters a much more predictable, stable investment climate under this new legislative framework.
But hey, while the government is handing out helpful tools, don't forget they are also strictly enforcing the rules. A recent news update confirms the department is actively carrying out a nationwide verification exercise. Who are they targeting? Specifically, restaurants that are suspected of suppressing their turnover. It's a loud, unmistakable message. The authorities are actively leveraging data and running widespread operations to make absolutely sure the new regulations are being followed to the letter, no cutting corners.
Finally, we arrive at Section 5, crucial July 2026 deadlines that require your immediate action.
The portal's tax calendar flags a massive, frankly intimidating cluster of due dates hitting exactly on July 14th, 2026.
This is a major compliance hurdle that spans a bunch of different sectors. Think about it. On this single day, Form 137 is due for government offices where TDS was paid without a challan. You've also got Form 132 for specific tax deductions under the new act. Shifting to international finance, authorized dealers have to file Form 147 for remittances, while IFSC units need to submit Form 148. And wrapping it up, stock exchanges need to get Form 1 in regarding client code modifications. Miss any of these newly formatted forms? You're basically inviting immediate scrutiny.
So as you explore these robust portal tools, from those transition FAQs we talked about to that amazing bill comparison tool, and as you digest these imminent July deadlines under the new 2026 rules, you really have to take a step back and ask yourself a hard question. The government has entirely digitized the map, sure, but you are the one driving the car. Are you actively upgrading your compliance strategy right now, or are you just waiting to get penalized by a system you don't fully understand yet? The new era of taxation is absolutely here. The real question is, how will you adapt?
Hey everyone, and welcome to today's Explainer. I am super excited to be your guide as we tackle a massive, literal game changer in India's financial world. We are looking at the monumental shift from the legacy tax code to the brand new Income Tax Act of 2025. Whether you're a tax pro, a business owner, or just an informed taxpayer who wants to stay ahead of the curve, you're absolutely in the right place. We're going to unpack exactly what the official Income Tax Department portal is telling us right now about this historic transition. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is our roadmap. We'll be looking at the 2025 Tax Act transition, those critical July 2026 deadlines, navigating the comparison tool, global and local enforcement, and finally taxpayer support and resources. Section 1, the 2025 Tax Act transition. So, we are quite literally witnessing history here. We are finally saying goodbye to the decades-old framework of the Income Tax Act 1961 and stepping into the completely revamped 2025 Act. But, and this is a huge takeaway straight from the department's press releases, the new rules don't officially kick in until April 1, 2026. This isn't an overnight switch, it's a structured rollout, which means the time to start adapting your strategies is right now. Section 2, Critical July 2026 Deadlines. With that transition creeping up, let's pivot to the immediate compliance actions you need to know about. The department portal is currently flagging some very dense deadlines. Specifically, July 14th, 2026 is a massive day for compliance under the new rules. We've broken these down so you can organize your tasks without totally panicking. Basically, by that date, Form 137 is due for government offices regarding TDS and TCS paid without a challan. Then you've got Form 147 for authorized dealers handling remittances, and Form 148 for remittances coming from IFS units, that is, the International Financial Services Centers. And lastly, stock exchanges need to have Form 1 submitted for modified client codes. Now, you really want to pay attention to Form 132, which is tied to that exact same July 14 deadline. The portal points out that this certificate falls under Section 395(4) of the new 2025 Act, specifically for tax deducted at source under Section 393(1). Why does this matter? Well, it's a perfect example of the new 2025 rules already being put into real-world practice. The corresponding forms are live, and compliance is mapped directly to the new section numbers. If you ignore this, you're going to fall out of compliance before the old act is even fully retired. Section 3, Navigating the Comparison Tool. Let's be real, trying to compare two massive tax codes side by side sounds like an absolute nightmare, right? Thankfully, the portal has deployed a fantastic digital resource for exactly this, the IT Bill Comparison Tool. It is super straightforward. Step 1, you just upload your files or select the 1961 and 2025 acts right from their catalog. Step 2, select the specific sections you want to compare. This is a total lifesaver when you just need to know how one particular rule changed. And step 3, choose how you want to view it, like a merged or split screen, and export the whole shebang to HTML or PDF. It takes a huge headache and makes cross-referencing these acts totally manageable. Section 4, Global and Local Enforcement. Okay, while those digital tools are amazing, we also need to talk about what the authorities are actively enforcing right now. Consider this number, 219. According to a recent press release, the Central Board of Direct Taxes, or CBDT, signed 219 advanced pricing agreements in the 2025-26 financial year. That number is huge. It brilliantly illustrates the massive growing scale of international tax compliance. The department is actively locking in these agreements to give taxpayers some much-needed certainty when operating across borders. And they are busy on multiple fronts. The portal lists several major recent enforcement updates. Internationally, India and France just signed an amending protocol to update their double taxation avoidance convention. On the local side, the Income Tax Department did a nationwide verification sweep, specifically targeting restaurants that were suppressing their turnover. Plus, they've rolled out their second NUG initiative, which is essentially a campaign sending targeted reminders to boost voluntary compliance around declaring foreign assets. The main takeaway here, transparency, both locally and internationally, is an absolute top priority for them. Section 5, Taxpayer Support and Resources. Now, with all these legal changes and enforcement updates, you might be feeling a bit of pressure. Totally normal. But don't worry, the department is actually offering a lifeline here. The foundational key to understanding this whole transition lies in Section 536 of the new 2025 Act. This specific section handles all the transition provisions, repeals, and savings. Because it is so complex, the portal has released a dedicated set of clarificatory FAQs designed to explain exactly how Section 536 works in practice. Think of this as your ultimate cheat sheet for figuring out how legacy tax issues are handled under the new rules. And the help doesn't stop there. The portal has organized its support into some incredibly helpful topic-specific FAQ categories. You can dive deep into the interplay between the 1961 and 2025 Acts. If you're a senior citizen, there are rules and FAQs tailored just for you. They've also carved out specific sections breaking down exactly how income from house property is treated, as well as extensive guidance on navigating the new tax-deducted-at-source frameworks. All the guidance you need is right there waiting for you. Before we wrap up, I have to point out a super critical security warning that the portal features prominently in its footer. Look, during times of massive systemic transition, bad actors always try to take advantage of the confusion. The quote is very clear. The Income Tax Department never asks for your PIN numbers, passwords, or similar access information for credit cards, banks, or other financial accounts through email. Absolutely never. So please, stay hyper-vigilant against phishing attempts as you're navigating these new compliance portals. So, we've unpacked the shifting legal landscape, those fast-approaching compliance deadlines, the awesome new digital comparison tools, and the active enforcement scene. The resources are sitting right there on the official e-filing portal, waiting for you to use them. Which leaves us with one final, vital question. Are you actively preparing your finances for the April 2026 transition, or are you waiting until the very last minute? Knowledge is power, folks. Go check out that comparison tool, review those FAQs, and take control of this transition today. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.